Rajan, after giving this advice, Bhagwan Vishnu accompanied the Devas and they soon reached Giriraj Himalaya. All the gods began to sing the praises of the Devi. Then, that self-revealing, luminous, splendorous flood of light of God manifested itself before them. The day was Friday, the 9th day of the bright fortnight, that is, Shukla Paksh of the month of Chaitra, that is, first month of the year. All the 4 Vedas stood in the 4 directions and sang stutis. That Jyoti had the radiance of 1,000 suns and the coolness of crores of moons. It glittered like a crore of lightnings. The color was red. It had no beginning and no end. It was neither of male nor female form. Rajan, as soon as the effulgence manifested, the Devas' eyes got closed. Then, when they tried very hard and opened their eyes, they beheld a most pleasing, divine form of the Devi. Her limbs were beautiful, and she had a young appearance, like someone just entering the stage of youth. Small bells and chains on her waist, and bells on the anklets, tinkled and enhanced her beauty. She wore divine gold ornaments, like armlets, bangles, and necklaces. A necklace of priceless gems adorned her neck. Her hair was jet black, blacker than a bumblebee, and fell in heavy tresses like the new leaves of the Ketki plant, that is Kevda. Her waist and hips were of elegant proportion. She had pressed between her teeth tiny rolls of betel leaves and camphor. Large golden rings hung from her ears and tinkled. Spread on her forehead were the black crescents of her eyebrows, like an 8-day-old moon. Her eyes were like red lotuses. Her nose was high and straight. Nectar dripped from her lips. Her sparkling white teeth were like half-opened jasmine buds. She wore a necklace of pure pearls. On her head rested a jewel-encrusted crown bearing the mark of the moon. Entwined in her hair were braids of mallika and malati flowers, giving out sweet fragrance. Bindi of kesar adorned her forehead. Her 3 eyes glistened with a beautiful luster. In her hands she held news, gourd, boons, and promise of protection to devotees, that is, Abhaydhan Mudra. She wore red garments. Her skin had the gloss of newly bloomed pomegranate flowers. She was decorated with all ingredients of Shringar. All the gods bowed in obeisance. She was no ordinary normal woman. She was the all-powerful, wish-fulfilling, universally pleasing Mother of all creation, Mata Jagdamba. Her face was wreathed in smiles. This wonderful aspect of the goddess, possessed of form, gave darshan to the assembled gods. They prostrated in worship. Their throats were blocked with tears of joy. They could not utter a word. They somehow collected their attention, bowed from the shoulders, and began to sing stutis. Tears of joy rolled out of their eyes. The gods said, "Salutations to the Devi, salutations to Mahadevi Shiva, pranams to Prakriti and Bhadra. With all respect and protocols, we bow before the Devi. We take refuge at the lotus feet of that Devi Durga, who is of the tint of fire and flame, who enlightens with Nirmal Vidya, who is splendid and illuminated, the one who can be worshipped as the result of previous good deeds, and who delivers us from the ocean of worldly attachments. We worship that Devi who is of the form of life and who has created the faculty of voice and speech, which all living things manifest in multifarious ways. One aspect of the goddess is Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling divine cow. We worship Vagrupini Bhagavati, the embodiment of speech, who is pleased with our stutis and has appeared before us. We offer pranams to the destroyer of Kalka, to Vishnu Shakti, who is praised by the Vedas, to Skanda Mata, who is Shiv Shakti, to Saraswati, who is Brahma Shakti, to Dev Mata Aditi, to Daksh Kanya Sati, and to the destroyer of sins, Papnashini, Kalyankarini Bhagavati. We know the goddess Mahalakshmi because it is solely on her that we put our attention during meditation. May she continuously flow into our attention. We offer pranams to the Devi who assumes the Virata Roop. We worship the Devi who resides within all in the subtle form. Obeisance to her who assumes the form of Brahma. We bow our heads to that Bhagavati Bhuvaneshwari whose non-knowledge causes us to mistake the unreal for the real, and once we know her, our ignorance and delusions are destroyed. We worship that Bhagavati Bhuvaneshwari who signifies the status of the Supreme Soul, who is all-intelligent and almighty, who is joy, perfect and intact, and who is the essence of the Vedas. We worship that Bhagavati Bhuvaneshwari who is beyond the Panchakoshas, that is 5 sheaths of the body, who is the witness of the 3 moods, who gives status and dignity to the word Tvam, and who embodies the universal soul. Our namaskars to Pranav Rupa, Life Force Devi. Namaskar to the Devi who makes the mantras effective. O compassionate Devi, obeisance to you again and again. This form of worship and praise filled the Devi with joy. That Devi Bhagavati Jagdamba, who resides in Manidweep, spoke in a clear, sweet voice like that of a koel. Shri Devi said, "All of you Devas have gathered here. Tell me what is the reason." I am the Kalpataru, waiting to fulfill all the desires of my bhaktas. When I am in residence, why should the Devas worry about anything? I deliver my bhaktas from the ordeals and turmoils of this worldly ocean. O most fortunate Devas, you should accept this as the absolute truth. Melting with love, Bhagavati Jagdamba made this promise. The gods were filled with joy at hearing this most divine voice.
Srimad Devi Bhagavath. Jai Shri Mataji.